everyone, I wanted to give an update on my Philodendron Melanochrysum and share how I have been caring for it. I've had it for about 10 months now, and it came with this leaf as well as this leaf here. So funny enough, it has grown 10 new additional leaves. So it's averaging about 1 leaf per month, which I think is pretty good given I'm in San Francisco and the weather is pretty mild. Here is a close-up shot of the most recent unfurling leaf. It has this pinkish coppery color and it darkens as it matures. Every time that a new leaf is unfurling, it already starts to put out a new leaf. So it's a pretty fast grower for mine at least. I have it on these 2 bamboo sticks as a trellis. This is the most recent fully mature leaf. I measured it. The width is 4 inches and the length from top to bottom is about 5 inches compared to the original leaf here, which is 2.5 inches across and the height is 3.5 inches. So it's a pretty significant difference. And looking at each leaf, they kind of get a little bit larger. I don't know why this one is yellowing. I'm guessing it's because it's just an old leaf and it's giving energy to the newer leaves that are coming up, hopefully. I'm not sure if something's wrong with this one as well since it's a little bit yellow, but it makes for a really pretty leaf with all the varying colors, and you can see that there's some crackling. The other leaves have crackling as well, and they're just really shimmery in the sun. What's interesting is that this plant is from Colombia, and Melanochrysum apparently means black gold. I haven't bothered to give it a moss pole since it looks like it's doing pretty well without one. Up top you can see that there are aerial roots growing, so it seems like this would be also a pretty easy philodendron to propagate, because once you have those you can cut it off and grow it into a new plant. The ones on the bottom dried up because of my humidity bag that I put on it, which the plant is outgrowing. So I'll show you how it looks when I put it on, which is ridiculous, but it definitely helps the plant get the humidity that it needs. Here's how it looks with the silly humidity bag. So what I do, which maybe you've seen in my Philodendron Varicosum care video, is I take out the bag and then I spray the outside parts of it and put it back on top. So that helps with any extra humidity it can get. I don't know if it does that much, but with the aerial roots, I think it does help since the ones on the bottom are all dried up. This is just a bag from online shopping that's harder plastic, so it keeps its shape better. Obviously, when it was a smaller plant, it would be able to cover the whole plant and give it a dome of humidity. I've heard from other YouTubers that this particular philodendron doesn't need super high humidity, so it might be able to survive without this bag since I'm slowly transitioning it out. I spray the bag whenever I feel like it. I've been kind of lazy about it recently, so maybe even once or twice a week, but if I was better at it, I'd probably try to do it every day just to keep it happy. Something that's also important about the humidity bag is to open up the bag pretty frequently and give the plant some airflow. I have it next to a bunch of my plants, and so that helps keep the humidity up because there is water obviously in soil of the other plants too, and that evaporates and that keeps the humidity higher, as well as a humidifier. Actually, it's an oil diffuser, and I turn that on every day. I think the humidity in my place hovers around high 60s, maybe even mid 60s. Right now, I think it's about 68. It's 1 foot away from a north-facing window. So in the northern hemisphere, that's the weakest amount of light that you can get in your place, and it seems to be liking it. So I would say that bright indirect light and not super strong light is sufficient for it. Here it is next to my Philodendron Gigas, just for comparison to see the differences in the leaves. They're pretty similar. The Gigas is definitely longer leaves. Here's one that's not in the best condition, but long, and the Melanochrysum is more heart-shaped. The soil mix that I put it in is 1/3 of perlite, 1/3 of bark, and 1/3 of peat moss, a little bit less peat moss, and putting in a scoop of worm castings. As for watering, I lean towards the less watering side of the spectrum. So usually I water it when it's almost dry or even completely dry, which I probably wouldn't recommend. So when it's almost dry but still a little moist, that's probably the best time for me personally to water it. And in order to check the soil to see if it's ready to be watered, I would check 2 inches into the soil to see if it's slightly dry. And if you have a moisture meter, that would be a lot easier too. For fertilizer, I used to give it Espoma organic fertilizer, which is really weak fertilizer. It's 111 for NPK, and I would give it like once a month maybe. But now I put Osmocote slow release fertilizer, the little pellets, and so we'll see how that makes a difference. All right, so I think that covers about everything. I can't think of anything else, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. This is the care that's working for me right now in my environment, which is in San Francisco. Of course, it varies by region because there's different temperature and humidity and sun intensity, etc. All right, everyone, hope you found this video helpful. And if you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching.